I can
E-kiss.
guess. I can
So
guess.
so yeah, so basically it's internet sex, and I'm actually involved with a cord that is mainly about e-girls, e-dating, e-sex,
Involved in a chord, bro. Like, is that short for Discord? Like, was it that hard to say the fucking full word? Jesus.
Dudes out here that love the anime girls, and you know they into them kind of fetishes stuff, man. And when it comes to these real life interactions with these women, they fold up. YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Steph, man. We about to dive into a cold video topic, man. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram at StephIsCold. We're gonna dive into this video topic: more plays, more dates. I am heavy into the bodybuilding community. I love working out. I love to watch More Plates, More Dates channel. Shout out to Derek. And man, he's talking about something that I can react to. You know what I'm saying? He got some good shit on here, man. So we're going to sit back. We're going to watch this, and we're going to, get my 2 cents on it, man. So without further ado, let's get it.
What's up, guys? Derek, moreplacemoredates.com. Today we're going to be talking about the Manosphere, I guess, or the red pill going mainstream. This is interesting to see this like subculture niche shit that is, I don't know, like it's not like pickup artist stuff, but it's kind of like it all sort of intertwines and meshes and has this weird overlap that I'm just like, it's like the basis of my channel was kind of like stemmed off of that, like, red pill awareness shit, I guess. And the realities of the world, realistically, because it's like at the end of the day, you kind of get a harsh reality check when it comes to, building out a dating life, getting successful in, entrepreneurial endeavors, like any area as a man that you have to develop yourself to become a successful person, whether it's, whatever vector or fucking thing you're talking about. At the end of the day, like usually there will be like a self-awareness slap in the face where you kind of realize that shit isn't handed to you on a silver platter. So, Andrew Tate is probably the most, I don't know, like the poster boy for, I don't even think he tries to be like a red pill, like Manosphere guy, but it's just, he kind of gets lumped into that category by default because of his views and whatnot. And he's like lately, blowing up on the internet. He is basically infiltrated everyone's For You page on TikTok via just like exorbitant amounts of clips that have been taken from his students from his course and whatnot, and have basically forced him into virality, essentially. And it's kind of interesting because I've, by extension, through a friends of friends, been, associated with these guys in some capacity for a fucking long time, like way back before I had any following whatsoever, and like before they really had a following whatsoever. I think they were like one of the first Gorilla Mind affiliates, actually. I think some of you guys have probably seen the original Tristan Tate is Limitless with Gorilla Mind Rush. That video's fucking funny. But anyways, more recently, again, Andrew's been blowing up and he's gone on big podcasts, and, he's been on Twitch streams recently. And, expectedly, it kind of ends up on my YouTube homepage. I guess it's not the For You page. I don't even know what it's called, to be honest, but it's like suggested recommended videos. And I was tuning into Click's Andrew Tate stream. So it's like this young kid who apparently is a Fortnite streamer for a living. And as you would expect, like a guy like Andrew who came up, like I think he's 35, turning 36 this year. He has been around like pre-internet and sort of with the evolution of the internet as well, and kind of, had actual hard-working, skills to actually get money that involved actual fucking arduous tasks rather than sitting on a computer, chair and fucking gaming for 14 hours a day. So him trying to wrap his head around like this, like Fortnite streamers and shit and like their mentality and mindset, it's entertaining in itself for sure. But above and beyond that, me noticing the social disconnect and lack of awareness from some of these, like up and coming, Gen Z individuals who have basically become hermits where they will not even leave their like streaming fucking cubicle essentially in order to interact with the opposite sex or develop communication skills above and beyond interacting with their chat essentially. It's very revealing of why the generations coming up are increasingly more socially distant and seemingly sexless. Actually, there's some interesting data on that, which we'll get into shortly. But anyways, this clip, I thought was kind of funny, but also...
You know, Derek, it is a fact on what you are speaking on, bro. It is a huge fact, in fact, especially with, I have a brother, man. He does Twitch streaming and stuff like that, and I want to share the full stories, bro, because that's a little personal, but there is a lot of weird guys like in the Twitch community that don't leave the house, that don't socialize with real life women in the real world. And I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all right now, bro. I think most of the girls that's in these Discord channels and these girls that be on the Twitch streams and never show their face, I think it's an automatic catfish, bro. I think it's a lot of dudes out here that love the anime girls and they into them kind of fetishes stuff, man. And when it comes to these real life interactions with these women, they fold up. I'm just being honest. So, man, I definitely agree.
Also kind of fucking scary at the same time.
Okay, this is actually a question to get into. Andrew, do you know what e-sex is? E-kiss? So basically it's internet sex, and I'm actually involved with a cord that is mainly about e-girls, e-dating, e-sex.
Involved in a cord, bro. Like, is that short for Discord? Like, was it that hard to say the fucking full word? Jesus.
E-kiss, e-e, and it's basically all about, you join a Discord channel, that's bad. It's basically an online Discord world where, it's basically in real life. So I'm involved with that. Like, I had e-sex multiple times. Like, I didn't lose my virginity, but I lost my e-virginity. You get what I'm saying? So that's basically...
This is the guy who just made fun of me, Andrew. Can you fucking believe that?
Yeah.
Call him a bitch. Call him a bitch. Talk to him, Andrew. Let's go.
All right. I mean, I don't think losing your e-virginity is a real thing.
Well, yeah, maybe in your world, but our world, we all have e-sex.
Why?
I've had e-sex before.
Well,
so
it's just because it's
a lot better than what you would think.
Yeah. Because why would I waste my energy to, actually have sex with an actual girl, put in the effort, to get her to my house, rather than you could join a room that's basically clicks his bed, continue, do the, what I'm saying, just not use your physical energy. It's more a mental game, and that's how you practice.
Okay, and do you want to have e-sex forever, or do you want to have real sex?
No, I'll have real sex, but I'm just waiting until I'm 18.
Why?
Well, because
okay, let's say you're 18. What's gonna change? You're gonna start going up to girls. You're gonna stay pussy.
I'm gonna start going up to girls.
Bro, take the.
If you want me to get a girl on stream right now, I can get a girl on stream.
Get a girl on stream. Get a girl on stream.
1 second, guys.
Let's go.
So he goes on to get this chick on stream, and then the last 20 minutes of the thing is Andrew basically pressuring this guy to get his first kiss, and it's hilarious, cringy, just every fucking, I don't know. It's a fucking debacle of a situation, but it's wild how nowadays, this guy, if presumably he's a fucking Fortnite celebrity among his age demographic, or else, Andrew wouldn't even shown up to the stream if he didn't have something to get out of it from a monetary clout perspective, which is totally understandable. Why would you, as a 35, 36-year-old, show up to a fucking 17, 18-year-old guy's stream talking about Fortnite and e-sex and shit? But interestingly enough, this is for him, this is not, he's not a good example. Well, when you see a social disconnect from even being able to communicate with this chick sitting here, to me, it seems pretty clear that there has not been a lot of outside interaction outside of his cubicle streaming thing that he has going on, essentially, which is fine. He's a fucking young dude, but at the end of the day, kids are waiting longer and longer to expose themselves to uncomfortable situations, and oftentimes they just don't entirely, and that's kind of what the data seems to reveal. Is that it's funny because the titles are what's Gen Z's aversion to sex? As if they're actively avoiding it, when in reality it's just that less guys are having sex because they're just fucking shitty at talking to people and meeting people. Gen Z is shaping up to be the least sex positive generation in a long time. Gen Z refers to the cohort born after 1996. So it's old. I thought it was way younger than this. This is shockingly not that far off, dude. So its oldest members are 24 now, and yet they aren't behaving like other generations at that age. One seminal study found that Gen Zers between the age of 20 and 24 were more likely than both millennials and Gen Xers to report having no sexual partners. 15% said they were sexually inactive compared to only 6% of Gen Xers when they were the same age. Other studies found similar patterns of Other studies found similar patterns of sexlessness, and it was particularly pronounced among young men who like to play video games. Awash in semi-pornographic advertising, a large portion of Gen Z would rather not. What could be driving this aversion to sex? Yeah, that's definitely it. The guys don't want to fuck. That's definitely what's happening right now. It's important to remember that 85% of Gen Z do report sexual activity since turning 18, but for the high percentage who do not, several key factors appear to be at play. Young men have fallen behind their female peers in educational attainment and employment prospects, which can create an overall sense of malaise and disillusionment. Fuck, big words. And when young men are struggling, young women will feel those effects too. In general, Gen Zers tend to reach life milestones later than earlier generations, living at home with their parents for longer and delaying marriage. They are also less likely to get a paying job or a driver's license than previous generations of adolescents, or to spend time without parental supervision. Without a car, paycheck, or personal privacy, dating and sex can become extremely difficult. And here we have an iStock image of what you can only assume to be, you know, the next guy striving to be. Like, this guy is the fucking pinnacle of streaming. And what do you think the average guy is gonna be who is, like, I don't even know, like, what proportion of streamers end up successful? Probably, you know, just like on YouTube, just like in any fucking endeavor in life, actual jobs, you know, if you're trying to become a lawyer or even a lifeguard, like the amount of like stratification down to the amount of people that got through when I was trying to be a lifeguard at like, you know, 19, 20 years old, there was, you know, hundreds of applicants that would get fucking like literally sifted out of the applicant pool, and these were individuals who actually had their certifications and whatnot. Like, at the end of the day, like, how likely is it that this kid or any other kid who's streaming is going to actually attain, you know, some sort of social notoriety that is going to equate to him just being able to, you know, call some chick over and get her on stream and just be like, you're some fucking random dude who has never left his house, and just be like, yeah, get over here. Most of these guys are going to be sexless and essentially have, you know, nothing going for them, unfortunately. And
Derek hit the nail on the head, man. Unfortunately, that is the black pill. Right? I'm black pill. I believe in the black pill. I'm not gonna cap here. We're not gonna cap here and make it seem like things that exist within the black pill is not realities, and it is. And unfortunately, the tough reality of the fact is most men are not going to be top 1% or even top 10% streamers. Most men are going to be sexless, right? Most men are, you know what I'm saying, going to, you know, stay versions, you know, physicality, not eversion, you know what I'm saying, that weird shit. And most men are going to become more socially awkward, and they're not going to know how to interact with the opposite sex in the real world. Due to social media, due to staying in the house all day and playing video games and getting on dating apps instead of meeting people in the real world. Right? Shit, if you're gonna meet one of these e-girls, man, why not try to link with them in the real world? Right? Back in like 2013 when Max Payne 3 first came out, man, it was a game I used to competitively play. And right before GTA 5 came out, so it was like 2013, I think GTA 5 came out. And they had the crews and stuff like that. And I was like top, like one of the top 3 players in the country. Like, you can look my name up and everything. My name was L Killer TM. I was ranked in the leaderboards. I think I had like a 3.78 KD or something like that. And guess what? Guess who else played the game? A lot of women played the game. And guess what? We had a Discord. And guess who was in the Discord? A lot of women was in the Discord. And guess what? You know what I'm saying? People in the Discord want to talk to these women. And guess what? These women sound like this. So they sound so feminine. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So feminine and so sexy and soft spoken. It turns on most guys. Most guys want to have, you know, phone sex, electronic sex. And then they fall into the trap of falling in love with the dumbass bitch. Even though the bitch ain't even real. And it's like a repeated weird ass cycle. like it's like a repeated weird ass cycle. If anything, G, if I'm, meeting these women, dates and shit, like I'm trying to connect with these women in the real world. What the fuck are we doing? Yeah, we could use it for entertainment and stuff like that. Yeah, we talking, but nothing is like the real thing. And what happens is, guys, socially awkward, I have to tell my brother, bro, hey, bro, when we out in the public, dog, you can't be wearing big fat ass headphones, G, while we out in the public. That shit looks weird, but it shows me that he's closed off from the real world. And I love my brother. How many other guys do that when they stepping out in the real world? You want to be cool online and you want to be cool offline. You want to be the same person. Now, of course, you do certain things for content. You bring a woman on, you might be less lenient and shit like that. But what's going to happen is the competition is going to get more steeper and steeper and steeper. Women are going to continue to raise their hypergamy bar and be super fucking delusional. They gonna, I guarantee you that girl right there, just from him putting her on his stream, I guarantee you her DM slamming, and she does not look like an ugly girl right there, and it looked like them titties big. Pause. I had to say it. I'm just being honest. It's so easy for the modern female, bro. It's too easy. It's easy. No cap. So I agree with Derek. It's only gonna get worse.
Essentially trying to attain not only financial freedom, but in addition to that, I don't know, like developing their entire self-worth based upon their gaming skills and based on their subscriber count on Twitch or something. I don't what percentage of those individuals make it versus end up being like a hermit on a fucking computer for the rest of their life. I would estimate I'm sure it's in the low 0.000 something percentile or something. So anyway, without a car, paycheck, or personal privacy, dating and sex can become extremely difficult. But as a sex neuroscientist, that's a very, very specialized position. I wonder what the salary is for that. I'm a sex neuroscientist, bro. I have come to believe that it's not just external factors leading to the reputation of sex positivity among so many Gen Zers, considering that most social interactions for this generation, including hanging out with friends, happens through digital screens, in some cases racking up 9 hours a day of screen time a day. There is no doubt in my mind that this technological disconnect is having a profound impact on sexuality. One can easily imagine how to many adolescents and young adults, sex, intimacy, and human connection can become foreign concepts and perhaps even a little intimidating. Then there's the difficulty of meeting people in real life. One avenue that used to be available and has been blocked has been meeting people at work. The Me Too movement undoubtedly brought positive social change, but it took workplace dating off the table and introduced an entirely new can of worms, complicating the male-female dynamic. Young people now have fewer places to meet a potential partner, and young men fear serious reputational damage in addition to baseline romantic rejection if the other party doesn't appreciate being asked out. It's not, of course, all bad news that a lot of Gen Z isn't sexually active. One of the silver linings of the sex gap is that US teen pregnancy rates have continued to decline, possibly thanks to a documented decline in alcohol consumption when it comes to Gen Z. Finally, it's possible that these Gen Zers are abjuring sex, are actually having it online. Sexual outlets like sexting and webcamming could account for why young people are having less sex, given that online sex isn't typically taken into account when studies ask about sexual activity. But it's online where Gen Z's real social activity lies. The desire to have face-to-face conversation is often eclipsed by an endless array of online alternatives, including discussion forums and dating apps that simulate the process of in-person interaction without risking true engagement. And above and beyond that, how many guys are, following their favorite creator and then subscribing to their OnlyFans, yanking it to their fucking content all the time? How many are addicted to porn or desensitizing their brain, their dopaminergic circuitry to a point that they can't even fucking interact with the opposite sex? And even once they finally get a chick in their bed, their dick doesn't even work because they've been watching.
Derek is hitting the nail on the head, bruh. Then it's like when you do get in contact with a cold female or a female in general, she feeling you, and it's super rare when a chick feeling you. Due to the Me Too movement, due to the hypergamy, due to, the female dating strategy and how they selecting their mates and how they're making these TikTok videos of you at the gym and, oh, you say something to me? You looking at me? Due to that, it makes guys I just stay inside. I just watch the X videos. But what happens is, your dopamine, you lose yourself. You lose the feeling. You don't, your digging stick don't get that pump. You don't get that pump until you pump. It's not inside of you no more because you steady beating your meat. I didn't have it happen to me, G. When I was 15, 16, 17. No more though.
Goddamn hentai and shit all day. Like, that's a real goddamn problem. Still, no matter how much one prefers to live their life in pixels, at some point reality necessitates a return to physical space. Instead of gawking with morbid curiosity at the generational sex gap, we should be addressing serious issues pertaining to sex education and uncomfortable conversations about sexuality that cannot be solved by disconnecting. By Deborah So, the sex neuroscientist. Now, I've talked many times about how important I feel like actually being able to talk on a whim to any human, realistically, regardless if they're an attractive female or just a male in a, interview, if you're applying for a job, if you're doing public speaking, if you are doing a business presentation in university. All of these things have like bleed over effect into each other, and at the end of the day, if you are incapable of fluently and articulately elucidating your points in this kind of a format, regardless if it's with a hot chick, regardless if it's in a business presentation, whatever, like this is going to have negative implications to your quality of life when it comes to building high quality relationships. And again, relationships, not just about, getting chicks into bed or whatever. This is about like your entire fucking infrastructure of your social life. And one thing I found interesting too, this video, and this is the part of the problem too with this whole online shit and the way everything is going, where guys are not only like de-risking by trying to engage with the opposite sex through fawning over them online and, blowing them up over like, risk-free, online dating messages and DMs and shit, which by the way, like totally fucking efficient way to go about doing it if you are able to capitalize on it and have, high enough quality, can display your, like product or, quality of your life, your value through a fucking screen, more power.
Hey, Derek Red Pill, man, he know what he talking about, man. He know what he talking about.
To you, it definitely moves the needle and is super efficient if you can make it happen. But again, at the end of the day, how many guys online are actually going to be successful? It's becoming a more disproportionately fucked up ratio. It used to be like, I don't know, I probably said 2 years ago or something that 80% of the guys get 20% of the girls online. At this point, it's probably way worse than that. There has been studies on it and shit, and it does not look promising. And, the cap off of this whole article was kind of stemming back to the fact that simulating the process of in-person interaction without risking true engagement. And girls have become inundated with so much of this. Their egos are so hyper-inflated from the online dating and, getting a match every 2 seconds. And like every guy's fucking pinging them because it's just the volume of the influx of requests, fucking likes on their pictures, hearts, emojis, fucking DMs, goddamn online dating options out the wazoo. Like girls at this point a lot of them have really inflated egos to a point that you would really need to set yourself apart to stand out in the online dating sphere. So like this guy, it was 16,000 swipes and how many matches? Tinder experiment proves how brutal it is for average guys. And this.
Shout out to Wee Waffles, man. I fuck with your content, G. Shout out to Wee Waffles, man. I fuck with your content, G. Let me say that shit one more time. Shout out to Wheat Waffles, man. Let's get it.
This video basically shows a guy's like, the brutal realities of what many would consider to be like a guy who checks a lot of the boxes. Like he's tall, he's has a decent job, he's reasonable looking, his pictures weren't terrible. Everything was like, seemed to be pretty fucking dialed in. And then he had like relatively lackluster results. And it's kind of an unfortunate reality, but it is the reality at the end of the day that you need to very much set yourself apart online. And again, this like Clicks guy, he's young and inexperienced, but he has like millions of followers online. So when he just sends a chick a fucking DM or something and asks her to come on his stream, even though he's like completely socially awkward and has no idea what the fuck he's doing, he might be fine and end up with the experience he needs, even though he can live in his hermit environment and just make it happen because of his clout. But for the average guy, and for, you know, most guys in this article, like, I very, very much have sympathy for the fact that they have put themselves and imposed this environment upon themselves and have fucked with their brain chemistry so much that they're gonna end up in a predicament that is less than ideal. I predict the rates of depression will incredibly escalate over the coming years, and I think it's gonna be on the back of a lot of this shit, to be honest. So anyway, circling back to this experiment, it basically showed, you know, some of the brutal statistics in the online dating marketplace, like whatever you want to call it. It was like, let's see, 7,880 something likes equal to this many, 290 matches, over 7,500 no matches. And then of that, he had 99 messages returned to him, 191 didn't return to him, 87 of them he opened on, presumably. I don't know, like he should have messaged at least 250. Like, I don't know, it breaks down to 68 conversations, 40 ghosted, 11 phone numbers, 3 dates. Like, a lot of goddamn numbers here, but, you know, back in the fucking, you know, the Red Pill PUA days, like, I would see people break down charts like this all the time. So, like, I don't really blame them for doing it, because analytics and data are analytics and data. And if it gives you, like, a harsh reality check, like, imagine fucking swiping 7,886 times and ending up with 3 dates and then nothing materialized out of that. Like, you would be pretty goddamn disheartened and discouraged at that point.
And then get on Twitch and get on your Discord and shit, you talking to 3 girls that sound like this, they got that sexy voice. You talking to 3 made up NPCs, bitches that sound like this. That's gonna get your dick and stick hard, and you gon' I'm on the book. And this is brutal. This is tough. This is something that most guys gotta deal with. It's tough. It's so tough.
And I think, to be honest, again, only so many people are going to be successful online. It's gonna be on the back of whatever you can display online, from a clout aspect, from a quality of life aspect, from financial freedom aspect, just sheer, like, excessively good, attractive looks. All that kind of stuff is, like, you know, very surface level shit that you can't really get to the heart of. Are you a humorous person? Do you come across as charismatic? Like, this kind of shit does not really reflect well from, like, very, very surface level DMs and stuff. And a lot of guys are selling themselves short by relegating themselves to just this, like, sub niche of the fucking internet and being, like, socially inept to the point that they can't even walk up to a human in real life. Like, presumably these gamers at some point, and these guys who are basically locking themselves in their fucking house, have to leave the house to go to the gym, go to the grocery store, like, actually interact with the human fucking population that surrounds them. And at that point, they're so withdrawn that if they actually see a hot chick in real life who was not, like, somebody they're subscribed to their OnlyFans, or some chick they stumbled across over, you know, Instagram Explore page or on Tinder, they, like, don't even have the capacity and the mental bandwidth to fucking walk up to them. And it's very sad. Like, this is something that, to be honest, I feel like if I was Gen Z and just, like, trying to start my, you know, dating escapades or whatever, like, I'd be thrilled at the thought of how little competition there really is. Like, the fucking diminishment in the quality of men out there is just disintegrating by the day, to a point where if you're able to actually walk up to a chick confidently, like, that's like a huge separating fucking differentiator at this point.
Regardless of the rejection, regardless of the outcome, if you can legitimately decide within the first 3 to 5 seconds, she cold, I gotta say something to her, I'm about to walk up to her and introduce myself and say something to her, you got balls. That is better than shooting a DM. That is better than seeing her and then the next day you go to the club and you see her and you DM, oh, I knew that was you. That's better than all that goofy shit. It's better to approach a woman and get rejected than to not approach her and live with that regret in your life, in your head. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things, man.
Point. Like, back in the day, it was not it was a big deal to be able to walk up to somebody on a whim with, you know, no nerves and actually show charisma and social fluency and hold like a high quality conversation. It was pretty impressive, even like, you know, 10 years ago and whenever the fuck I, you know, started looking at this stuff. But now you're like, you're a fucking wizard probably if you can do it compared to what's going on online now. So this is like a very, very scary reality of the world we live in. And I can see why a lot of women, I can see why there's an aversion to sex because there's less men that women are even attracted to and want to even fuck to begin with. And then of the Gen Z men, there are less that are actually like qualified men who are even confident enough to fucking walk up to somebody and.
Now think about all the apps, bro. We got Instagram. Instagram got the reels on, right? They trying to compete with TikTok. So with these reels, we know you get into the algorithm a little bit faster with the reels. You also notice in order for your reels to really pop, you gotta catch the audience eye within the first 5 to 3 seconds. I mean, the first 1 to 3 seconds. Excuse me. TikTok. Who do you think is on TikTok more, men or women? When the average guy is on TikTok, what do you think he's seeing? Booty, 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 booty. And what these women are seeing is top 1% guy, top handsome guy, top 1% guy, handsome guy, handsome guy, handsome guy. So when these women come across guys who are less than average, and you got these handsome guys, these top 10% guys within looks, it's hitting on them, liking their pictures in their DM, giving them attention. It's gonna boost their ego to the point where they feel like, I'm not finna fuck with the average guy. I'm not even gonna give my time of day to the average guy. Why would I? Right? So it's like, man, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Modern men are at a disadvantage, bro. And that same girl, I'm gonna just, this is gonna be a bar. That same girl that rejected you in the DM would have definitely accepted you in person. I guarantee you. See, now I believe when women say they don't get approached like that, but I kind of think it's cap because I still feel like women get approached a lot. They just don't get approached by the guys that they want to approach them.
In person, like they're just doing the most, you know, hermit ass shit, and it's fucking brutal. So again, I guess this is like, to some people, this would seem like a very, very, I don't know, like depressing situation whereby like, what's the probability of having success? Like, look at these fucking numbers, they look terrible. I think you capitalize on that and you just actually make, you know, set yourself apart. And there are ways to do that fortunately less and less men are doing nowadays. And I think that stems back to your ability to actually display value in person, to be honest. Like, I think the days of, again, like I understand there's the whole like Me Too movement and people, you know, like if you're not a fucking creepy dude and you have your shit dialed in from a, you know, hygiene perspective, you're like reasonably stylish, you have your shit going on, like you should not be perceived as a creep simply for striking up a high level conversation. Like if you're not stumbling over your words and acting creepy, it's actually pretty fucking difficult to be creepy. Like I get that the likelihood, even if you're like a 10 out of 10 dude, even if you say the most fucked up shit, you're not gonna be perceived as creepy. Whereas, you know, a 1 out of 10 guy, if he says everything right, he might be perceived as creepy by some people, but there is some level of social IQ awareness, and I believe game, and I don't really like buy into the whole like game thing so much.
I don't either, Derek. I don't either, bro. I don't buy into the game stuff neither. Yeah, I don't either.
Think it's just high level conversation skills. If you're able to adequately actually walk up to a chick and hold a high level interaction, like I think the likelihood of you encountering anything worse than like a basic rejection or a fake number or whatever is relatively unlikely. And again, maybe this is different for where you live. Maybe I'm just speaking for my, I don't know, like the general area that I would be familiar with, but I just think there's an increasingly apparent way for men to actually set themselves apart as men, and this half glass full, half glass empty situation here could be perceived as a half full glass if you are the guy who capitalizes on the deterioration of quality of men out there, because there is a disproportionate amount of attractive and high quality women who are going for a disproportionately low number of attractive, and or, because again, there are so many other factors you can peak out as a dude from a financial freedom aspect, from a actual, like, how much humor and actual confidence and social fluency plays into your ability to get a high quality chick and retain her too, I think goes severely overlooked. I think a lot of people look at these numbers and they're just like, fuck, if I'm not the hottest dude ever, I am fucked. And it's...
See, Derek, the thing is, bro, in order for these women to deem you as funny or deem you as charismatic is, man, you gotta be somewhat attractive to them first. Like, you gotta get past the physical barriers first in order to hit the other barriers and the other attributes. You feel what I'm saying? Right? It's just one of those things, man. You know, I wish it wasn't like this, unfortunately, but man, this is just how it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is a video for today, fellas. Don't forget to like this video, man. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, man. StephIsCold, man. Comment, subscribe, bro. Holla back at your boy, man. Peace. I'm gone.